Hello and welcome to the first Teach Me Senpai video. This is a Tokugawa save file that is, if I'm totally honest with you, probably not a disastrous campaign. But it's not a bad idea to start off with something relatively simple, fix this up, and then move on to the next one, which might be a little bit more difficult. So this was sent in by Johnny Hunter 360, and his quick brief was: the issue is that I'm having a lot of trouble expanding the provinces due to financial. You can tell the Shogunate part, which I regret it too early. The difficulty is easy, which I'm still beginner, and I still got the black ship very early, by the way, which consumed a lot of income. So yeah, I'll be grateful for giving me more advice, especially how to use cavalry effectively. P.S. If you can keep black ship if possible, thanks. English was not fantastic there, but that's okay. So yeah, he's got the black ship, with 9 experience, by the way, so this is an absolute beast of a ship. And because of that, I would actually, the first tip I would say is get rid of all of these, which I will do in a second, but I want to have a little bit of an overview first. But basically, yeah, he's playing on easy, he's only making 200 bucks per turn right now. I should also mention I am of course using all of my regular mods, the mods that I always use, which don't impact gameplay at all, but change appearances somewhat, or aesthetically change the game somewhat. All of that will be in the description though, so if you want to have a look at that, why my map might look a little bit different than yours, for example. But anyway, so yes, he's not making him a lot of money. He's already in Roan Divide, and he's just currently, as I said, it's not really a disaster campaign. He's got armies in the right places. He's got one here, he's got one in Wakasa, which can go west. He's got one in Kaga, which can take Echizen very quickly. In fact, that's probably what we'll do next. A couple of units here in Etsu. There was apparently a Uesugi. I guess some towns are still left over, essentially. There might be some armies here, I have no idea, but there's an army here about to take Shimosa, which can then move on to Itachi, possibly go back for Kozuke. Oh, there's an army in North Shinano that can defend against Kozuke or even go on the offensive. Again, I don't know what's there, of course. And there's an army over here as well. So overall, he's actually in a pretty good position here. He's not, you know, there's no huge armies on his doorstep about to take all that he owns. That's not the problem that he currently has. The problem for him is that he's not making any money, and feels that it's getting difficult to expand because of that. So, as I said, first things first, this ship by itself is insane. You don't need more navies than that. Now, of course, it is useful having more navies, but one of the first things I tend to get rid of when my income is low is extra, like, abundant ships, essentially. So these 4 will bring your income up to 655 immediately. I would like to repair the black ship. I guess since our income, or our money right now is so low, I might as well get that done right away as well. We have several Metsukes here. Now, one way of making very good money, this is like one of my highest tips that I ever give to anyone, is look at what your highest income provinces are. For you, that's Izu, Owari, Omi, Kaga, and Musashi. That's the top 5. Now, I don't know how many Metsukes we have. You can have a look at that as well. We got a level 5 Metsuke in here, and we got those 3 over there. And then do we have a 5th one as well? Oh yeah, we do, but that one has apparently been taken out by an agent. So yeah, there are 5 Metsuke. Now, the best thing you can do with Metsukes is maxing out Censor, which gives you overseeing towns, as well as Magistrate, which gives you overseeing towns as well. Metsukes, in my humble opinion, the best way to use them is by maxing out those 2 skills and putting them in your richest towns. They are going to be super passive agents, but what you use them for is making money. The 5 of them, with those skills maxed out in your top 5 towns, can easily make you an extra 5, 6, 7 grand per turn. And that's not even that's not even exaggerating. When they're maxed out, they can make so much money. So that's the first thing that we want to do as well. Now, we can't actually move them right now because we are halfway through a turn. So that's not something we can currently do, but it's something we certainly will be doing in the next couple of turns. I think my goal for this particular video is going to be to try and get an income of about 2 to 3 grand per turn and have a united front. So I want to take the couple towns that are not currently owned by the Tokugawa, like in between our own regions, like this one up here, and then the Uesugi ones, this Hatakeyama one here as well. Of course, he has realm divided already, so we are at war with everyone. But yeah, if we can get a united front, then everything is nice and clean. And if you're then making a decent bit of money, then you can go on and take the rest of Japan very easily after that. Could even take this army and start taking more as well. Also, should mention, not that it really matters at all, but this is being played on, this is large unit size, I think, so not ultra, but like the one below that, I think, or is it? No, actually, I think this is like the medium one, medium unit size. But yeah, that doesn't really necessarily change anything. Right, so we have very little money right now. I think whatever we can do, unit movement-wise. Another tip I can give you immediately, something I noticed over here, is this army was moved. I don't know actually where from. Yeah, I was going to say it probably came from Musashi, but maybe it didn't. It looks like it came from... Maybe you chased down an army here or something. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm sure you know, and this is just generally a tip, though, is try not to leave your armies in an enemy region during winter, because obviously you're going to take attrition for no reason. If you could have just kept it here and then attacked the next turn anyway, you could have still reached Shimosa, no problem. But that may have been because you were chasing something off or whatever. Or maybe you landed this army here and then got rid of your navy. I don't know. I don't know what the actual story behind it is, but there's the tip regardless. Another thing we can do is, of course, have a look at where we have excess units where you might not need them. Because I noticed, for example, here you do have places exempted from taxes or from tax. Because of non-inclined religion, you do have an extra couple units here as well. But for example, this monk in here, if we just level him up to be better at inspiring towns, the town is already going to be at 3 happiness, so we can get rid of units here sooner, essentially. So in fact, I can actually unexempt this place right now, then that will go away, and then next turn this place will be fine, and then over time we can get rid of our units. Plus it looks like you could have exempted it, or stopped exempting anyway, because it was going to be fine this turn. This place also has a turn at least of not being too bad. We have 4 happiness here, which means we clearly don't need any units here, so we can bring these 3 units. Or the monk, actually. What is this monk leveled up in? Yeah, so here's another thing that I would personally... I think I'll also link my... I can't remember what the video is actually called, but... I think it's like the tutorial series I was planning on doing ages ago, and the first episode was called Agents or something like that. I'll link it in the description, and that will tell you how I personally prefer leveling up my agents. And I still think that is the best way of doing it. And if you watch that video, to be fair, Monk is like the agent I'm always not 100% sure of, because it's kind of dependent on the situation. Certain things are good. I like just inspiring towns because it means I can use them for fast expansion. I can keep them in town, make the town happy. But things like this, like improving my Chi art mastery by 3%, I always find a little bit pointless, because I tend to get all the research that I need throughout a campaign anyway, and that is with me finishing campaigns relatively quickly. Here's another thing. I guess you maybe were going for Gunpowder Mastery. It's something I personally never tend to do, because I think it's quite pointless. Because most gun units aren't worth it. By the time you get them, you will have, you could have Bow Warrior Monks, which are just better in general. Equal fields is definitely something you want to get early on. Same as tax reform. Tax reform increases your clan-wide tax rate by 5%, which is an insane amount of money if you count all of your... I mean, how many provinces have you got right now? Probably 20 or so. It must be more, actually. 30 provinces. Increasing tax rate by 5% for all of those towns is an insane amount of money you'd be giving yourself. So I'm going to go for that first, actually. We're going to go for equal fields after that. Equal fields also very important, because you want to get terrace farming as fast as possible in at least your most fertile towns like Kaga, etc. Although I'm sure you took Kaga quite recently, seeing as there's an army in there right now. But anyway, so yeah, excess units. So we currently have lots of happiness in here. This character is giving us, the monk is giving us 3 happiness, so we'll pop him in there. And then pop an extra unit in there. We'll just run over one of the Yari Shigaru. And then these 2 units here are going to have to stay for now until the non-clan religion goes away. But then when they're in there, we don't have to remove the... or we don't have to exempt from tax anymore. Actually, it looks like we're going to have to do it a little bit more. Oh, you must have something that gives you happiness for... Like... Oh, wait, hold on. Was I? Oh yeah, we have religious happiness here, right? Okay, so that's obviously the thing. So when this goes down to 50%, or when the Buddhism goes up to 50%, we're going to get an extra +1. But it's actually going to not be great still. We may have to exempt it for another turn or 2, but that's okay. In Hida we have -1, but that's going to be okay. We have a monk here as well, so that means we could move him out of here in a couple turns as well. I guess the Ikko Ikki must have owned quite a bit of territory around here for a while. We have a lot of happiness here, obviously, but you were obviously keeping this army here to perhaps either attack Kozuke or at least defend against the army that might be coming from Kozuke, so that's not a bad idea. In Ichigo, we have loads of happiness. We also have something that's destroyed, apparently. There must be I'm guessing there's a monk running around, or a ninja running around here. Either way, I'm going to get rid of that unit. That'll save us a little bit of money as well. We have a single general there who's on his way to, I guess, maybe join that army. We have a general leading this force, let's prepare that as well. Get rid of the Naginata dojo. That's another thing we're gonna have to get into in a minute. We have got someone leading this as well. We got another car company, Honda, right there. You're on your way there. Maybe you're planning on building an army here to go send that way to take Chitsukabe Island, Shikoku. I'm not sure. I did notice there's an army here that has no leader whatsoever, but I guess sending a general that way is going to take a long time. This one is leading. Here's another one where you probably should have kept your army here and then just attack next turn. Yeah, this whole tree, forget about it. Never upgrade anything in here. It's not worth it. So get strategist. Then on level 3, don't spend any points. And then on level 4, max out infantry leader, which gives you. Sorry, yeah, you first level you put, so when you get to level 2 you put 2 points in here, when you get to level 3 you put your third point in here, then you save the extra point you have, then on level 4 you put all 3 points in infantry leader, which not only gives you a +3 melee attack for all infantry, which is just generally very good already, but it also gives you stand and fight, which is absolutely insane. After that you put 1 point in there, 1 point in there, 1 point in there, and then 3 points in here to increase or decrease your upkeep by a lot. That's the best way to level up any general ever, just it's always the best. I don't know if you leveled all your generals the same way, or maybe you're just experimenting, because here you didn't go for that kind of stuff. You went for command during ambushes. Command is the only thing that command really does. Is Night Battles. That's actually okay, but I still wouldn't put 3 points in there. But mostly what command does is it makes your auto assault slightly better, which is mostly a pointless thing. I mean, it's not bad, but especially command when ambushing. I mean, how often do you really ambush someone, right? It's just not the most useful thing. There's definitely better things out there. This guy also has a level up, so we're just going to put 2 points in there right away. And then we're going to see what kind of things we can get. 1 armor, pretty pointless. 5 accuracy for bow samurai. Now, you have no bow samurai in here right now. You actually have Machoka Shigaru, what the hell? But +1 armor is pretty much pointless. And bow samurai, especially when your income is pretty meh, bow samurai are a pretty decent alternative to bow Shigaru. And while not spending, you know, all your money on bow warrior monks. So I'm going to go for that, despite not having any of these units. It's a look towards the future, essentially. Now anyway, this guy, I think we're going to send him this way, because currently there's no generals in here. Now one thing, of course, that this is not a good movement. The way we should move him is town by town, which we will do manually once we get to that point, but that is something to keep in mind as well. Okay, so, yeah, we were looking at towns that could be happier or less happy. So this place is currently -1. That's going to go away, so that's going to be fine. Etchu is currently fine. Noto is going to have to get a couple more units. This place is going to be incredibly unhappy were I to move my army out and take Echizen, which is probably why you haven't done it yet, I'm guessing. Or perhaps you were just waiting for this army to replenish, which is not a bad idea either. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm not sure if there's an army in there, so another good reason not to do it right now is because it's winter. If there's an army in there, you would know, but I don't, obviously. If there's an army in there and we have to siege them out, then we take attrition immediately. So we're going to wait a couple turns here, because this place will get pretty unhappy if we were to move out right away. Other than that, you haven't really got any units left over in places where they're not supposed to be, so you're not really losing anything out on that. We are, of course, at war with everyone, so there's no diplomacy to be done, because it is roundabout already, so there's nothing you can do there. We have some unhappy, or some broken buildings. Right, so that's the next thing we need to do. I can actually force this by doing that, but I'm not going to bother right now. So yeah, one thing that we of course need to do is get rid of any building that isn't required and build more useful buildings in their stead. So the sake dens, I don't know if you built those yourself or if they were already there. Sake den is of course always a great choice, if not the best choice. Here I guess you can keep one of them, it doesn't really matter. The basic thing that you want to keep in mind is whenever you have a building slot in a town that you've just taken, the first building slot, make a sake den, because it gives not only +2 happiness, which means you can move out faster, but it also gives a little bit of money. Second building slot, build a market. Now, obviously in provinces like Mikawa, if perhaps you were thinking about building cavalry here, then the warlord stables is a good idea. The market would be unnecessary. I don't know what currently your recruitment hubs are. We'll have a look at that in a minute as well. Starting as the Chosukabe, Mikawa is your capital, so this really probably should have been your recruitment hub for cavalry. but it doesn't look like that is actually what you ended up doing. So yeah, here again, we don't really need these kind of buildings, so we're going to get rid of both of those. If you do have free building slots like in Ise, then technically, yeah, you can get rid of all of them and make a Buddhist temple, because of course you can get more monks from that, and of course it helps with happiness. But happiness here is not required, and monks I'm assuming you already have 5 of anyway. We have 1, 2, 3, we don't actually have 5. We do have 5 ninjas and 5 Metsuke though. I don't know if you have enough... yeah, hold on, let's check over here to tell me if you actually have all the monks. You don't actually have all the monks yet, so in that case I'll keep the Buddhist temple for a moment. I want to recruit all the monks that we can get, and then, you know, move on from there. So again, this is a super good province for money, so these buildings are essentially pointless. If you're not going to use them for recruitment, like, you want to have one recruitment hub. Kai is a fantastic recruitment hub for cavalry, but so is Mikawa. Both of those will work. Hitachi, which you don't currently own, and Echizen are fantastic hubs for ranged units, because they get the craftsmen, so you get extra range. Of course, there's also an Abuzen, but you know, that's not something that's near you. Kaga, because of the blacksmith, as well as Sagami right here, are great for recruiting infantry in general, because they give more armor or melee attack, if that's what you want to go for. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Never build recruitment buildings in like random towns, because you're not going to be able to, or you're not going to want to recruit units there, because you can recruit better units in other provinces. Now obviously if you need something very quickly because your army is completely destroyed or something, then yeah, you could consider that, but Yari Ashigari will generally fill that job as well. I'm guessing since you were going for this, maybe you were actually planning on recruiting gun units, and maybe you were planning on recruiting them here with extra armor. I don't know why you would, but if that's the case, I can keep this. On the other hand, there's also a good chance that you just had this here because you never replaced it, and the Hojos start with that building already built, so I'm actually going to get rid of it regardless. The market's fine. Another thing to keep in mind is that I saw one here, which again probably is not something you did, but something that the AI did and you just took over the town. A rice exchange you never want to build. You basically want to keep a market in every single province except for those 5 richest towns. In the 5 richest towns, you want to upgrade your markets as much as you can, because you get much more out of it there. Like, you reduce your food, and of course, global food increases global wealth. So right now you can see global food supply gives us an extra 5 wealth per turn, and 5 wealth per turn turns into 5 wealth is divided by the tax rate. So currently 15% of 5 is less than 1, so it'll probably give you 1 extra income per turn, but that's 1 extra income per turn per town. And of course, when you increase your tax rate with things like tax reform, for example, that's going to get better as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Man, this is turning into like a massive tip video rather than actually playing the game, isn't it? My goodness, I probably should actually get a move on and do the stuff that I said I was going to do. So yeah, that's I mean, there's a lot of tips for it. I'm sure most of that stuff will be very useful. And the Duchess Dojo sounds great, not useful at all. So here, these buildings are technically okay. I wouldn't build an archery dojo because I generally don't use bows cavalry, but it's okay. We want a Yari Juilliard here. We can get Yari Calf, which of course is the best cavalry unit in the game, one of the best units in the game in general. Don't need that here. Don't need this here. It's going to take a long time to like rebuild all the stuff here, but I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to keep that though. Like, rebuilding all of the buildings is going to take a long time, but it's worth it because that's what you need to get your income up. In Kaga, actually, this is fine. I don't want the Siege Engineer's Workshop though. Buddhist Temple's fine because we could get Naginata Warrior Monks if that's what you want. Of course, when you've got your income sorted out, you can build whatever the hell you want to build essentially. I think that is about all the provinces. I don't know if I checked every single one. Maybe over here I missed a couple. There you go. Buddhist Temple, once again, we're keeping. Market's fine as well. Several buildings destroyed here. Don't need those buildings, so we can just destroy them instead of repairing them. And then I think that might be it. Yeah. And if not, you can fix them yourself now that you learned a thing or two. Okay, so that's all that. So yeah, we're not going to attack this army right here. Do we have any agents? Oh god, I just accidentally alt-tabbed, sorry. Do we have any agents that haven't moved yet? We have this Metsuke here, actually. So, again, we don't really want him here, although I'm sure he's keeping the peace currently. Yeah, he is, but that's okay. We can just recruit a single unit in there, and it'll be worth it, because if we put him in... Oh, Omi's actually unhappy. -3. Well, you know what? Omi is on our top 5, I believe. Yes, it is. So we can put him in there for now. Just send him over. Actually, if we're being really smart, we put him in Kyoto for a turn and then move him into Omi, so that at least we get income for a turn. Yeah, I'll do that for now, actually. But yeah, we should put him at Omi. But you can already see that's going to increase our income. Probably not by much because this guy is not leveled up the proper way. But if the way to check this is by exempting and then redoing tax, essentially. There you go. Went up by 100 and something per turn already. And this guy's not decked out for that kind of like overseeing towns at all. Okay, what other agents do we have that have yet to move? A monk in Mino. We definitely don't need happiness here. Now we noticed there's a couple towns up here that need happiness. And of course there's a bunch of towns we're about to take still. But I think mostly we're going to need him up around these areas here. Let's send him towards Kaga. Plus it gives us a little bit of scouting here. Okay, so we know there's nothing in there, so we could actually just take Echizen right now. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. We can just auto-resolve that battle, no problem. Lost one man. We'll peacefully occupy that. That's another thing, never loot. Looting's just not worth it. Actually, I can earn some money to repair that, so we'll leave that for now. War stable is not really necessary unless you wanted to recruit bow cavalry, in which case, keep it. Paper mills is technically the wrong building if you want to go for as much accuracy as possible, but since you currently want money, the paper mills are fine. We'll just keep them. You don't seem to be too focused on getting the highest tier units anyway, because you're still using Ashigaru essentially all over the place. Yari Samurai, by the way. Ooh, Atori Yari Samurai. How the hell did you get... Did you bribe these? That's an interesting tactic. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was going to say, otherwise, Yari Samurai, don't bother recruiting them. They're not great. But it's interesting that you bribed those. That's kind of cool. Anyway, another thing you can do here, top tip, take out your general and just take it like that. That way, we can avoid taking attrition here as well. We can always put him back in. Well, we can't in this case because he's being annoying, but normally you could. And then we can also get rid of the Naginata Dojo here. We can keep one of them again. Let's get rid of the Source School in that case. Because again, there's only 2 money-making buildings. Other than that, it doesn't really matter unless you want a Buddhist temple. But in this case, we don't really need that because there's no other religions here. So we're gonna keep it like that. This is usually is totally fine. It can be a little bit risky. Again, I don't know what's in there. If there's a large stack in there and it attacks me in Miyagi and half my army is sitting outside, that could actually work out very poorly for me. But normally, especially if you know what's around there, if you know there's no other armies that can attack you right away, this is totally fine. Especially if you're avoiding attrition like we were now. It saves us a lot of pain. Now again, you can force this by pressing R, but I think in this game it actually doesn't even work. I think it only works to follow the samurai for some reason, but that's another thing to keep in mind if you really need to get something done and repaired. Now here we're too far away, plus we don't have a general to actually move out, so it doesn't work. But yeah, in situations like that where you're just away from, just too far away from attacking it, totally fine to do that. Any other tips for this particular turn? I think we're good. Nothing is currently rebelling. There's a whole bunch of unhappiness all over the place, but we can always handle that. You're now at a point where you're making so much money you can even lower taxes and get rid of a lot of happiness as well. Actually, we're on minus 49, but you know, after a turn we could easily do that. But yeah, I think we're actually okay. I think the main concern for me is if there's something in key, but we gotta remember, well, I gotta remember personally as well, of course, that this is on easy difficulty, so it can't be the most difficult thing in the world. Ninja here is almost okay. I personally, but that's more of a personal thing, some people don't. I like to put on the first level, I'd put 1 point in here and then put all 3 points in here on the third level essentially. Because it gives you +4 sabotaging or subterfuge when sabotaging armies instead of +2. Which is, you know, you double it by saving an extra point on that one assassination. And then after that, you put 2 points in there, 1 point in there, and then 1 point in there, 2 points in there. So that's how I would do it. But again, you might have a different idea. Now, I do have some agents that are still able to move. So I'm going to send a ninja this way just to see if there's actually something going on there. Because I don't currently know. No, there's nothing there. So we can easily take that too. We can even take like just a couple of units over there and we should be okay. We have... okay, that was the one who's wounded. We got a full-on ninja in here. Having a couple ninjas here is not a bad idea. I'm gonna send this one towards Wakasa just to split the forces a little bit, but overall that's totally fine. Having them in towns gives you a whole bunch of information about where the enemy is, so that's not a bad idea. Monk in there is gonna stay there, and then a ninja over here He's gonna go check out if there's something in Mimasaka for me. Oh, there's actually lots of rebel towns. Of course there is. Okay, that's good to know. You can stay around there, just see if there's anything else that comes around. Chisakabe own that. Okay, that's the only town that they own other than their island, though. That's another thing I haven't even looked at yet, who the enemies even are. So we got a whole bunch of Yamana over here. The Honma own this, as well as, of course, their island. We got a couple Hatakeyama towns left over. Chisakabe are on their own island, and a couple of Shimazu towns. I'm guessing also that the Shimazu are have switched religion. Perhaps the Amako have as well. Yeah, the Amako are also Christian, and so are the Shimazu. So that's definitely something that we need to use our monks for later on, which is why we need to recruit those last 2 monks as well when we have the money. But I think that's about all I can do for this single turn. Yeah, the main thing is going to be getting those Metsukes in our richest towns, because that's going to give us so much money. Even though they're not completely leveled up the way they should be, that's still going to be okay. This guy's going to try and cause a rebellion. Hopefully he fails. He did. Could be dangerous though in the future. So there's a couple units around there. They are really trying to block this black ship, but they don't know the power of the black ship. The black ship, while auto-resolving, can be a little bit dangerous. But if you fight battles manually, it's almost impossible to get it killed. Tokugawa Ieyasu, you're... I'm guessing that's your faction leader already? Yeah, it has to be, right? Get extra loyalty or honor if he's our daimyo. We got mounting arrest in a couple of towns, that's okay. Urban migration, well, this is actually kind of lucky. So we get a choice of making money or making money. This is long-term making money. This is early game or like right away making money. Since you're currently not making a whole lot of money, well, income is okay now, but I would go with this. Having said that, your farms are not particularly well upgraded since you didn't go for equal something, the tech early on. So this could work out better, but for the moment, since you want to make money, so now you're up to 4 grand already. So we've already achieved that goal of making money, but that's not entirely fair. Although we were making 2.3 before that as well. So our agent has been released, so we're going to pop him in Awari, which yeah, Awari is definitely up there too, right here. So we want to get those points. Now normally you want to save a point and just put all 3 in there, and you want to get that one too. But this is okay for now, and if we get lucky, we can get even more points here, which didn't this time. We didn't. It reduces chance of being assassinated. But yeah, you want to have your Metsukes upgraded for overseeing towns all the way, and just put them in your richest towns. You'll see immediately once we exempt and then unexempt that we went up by another 250 bucks or so per turn, which is just, it adds up so quickly. Well, you can go take Shimosa, no problem. Just immediately take that, repair the castle, and then I think we're just going to move on towards Hitachi, or perhaps towards there, because there are quite a few units coming, and I don't think I'll be able to defend a town with a single samurai retainer from that. We have no ninjas around here either. Oh, we do actually. Hold on, I might be able to save this. Although I kind of messed... Okay, so there's my bad. I should have actually, before I moved into the town, I should have moved the ninja out to sabotage first, but it's not going to end up mattering too much. If they take Shimotsuke, we take it back the turn after, no problem. So I'm going to move immediately. Keep following with the monk as well. So this place is unhappy, but the castle's going to repair it. Devastation goes away. It's going to be fine. And it already has a market, so that's totally fine as well. So then we have all of the stuff to do now, which is nice. So we have lots and lots of buildings to build. Now we don't have that much money, so perhaps building buildings right now is not the most ideal thing to do just yet. We're going to move this guy through all the towns, send him to where he needs to go. And then we've got all of these Metsukes here. So our richest towns, let me just refresh my memory here. So we've got Izu, which is a bit far away, but still. Owari, which we already have one in. Miyagi, which is super far away. Omi, and then Kaga. So Kaga's just up here. Chizen will also end up being quite rich once we build the right buildings here. Having said that, it actually is going to have recruitment buildings, because again, it has a good recruitment set up already. That's a Yamana ninja right there. Sounds like a great job for this guy to go murder him. That's too bad, but we'll see. Could have perhaps even reached with one of you guys. Well, it looks like you can, but I don't think you can. I'm going to send this big boy towards Kaga. And then I'm going to send these ones this way. Just away from here, because there's no rich towns towards the west until you get all the way on Shimazu Island. At which point Kyushu. At which point it's not really worth it anymore. So this army, let's first of all, I gotta repair all the castles too. So anywhere where we currently do have unhappiness, we can build a sake den. Now we do have this place going to rebel next turn. There's not currently anything we do about that except for doing that, so we're gonna have to. Kaga is incredibly unhappy. We know there's no forces around here really. First of all, I guess we can put the monk in there, see how far we get with that. Also put this guy in here, which is not gonna quite do it, so we're gonna have to exempt that from tax for now. This place is still on 0, gonna wait until that goes away. We did have a monk on the way from here, did I? Thought I did, perhaps not. Oh no, I sent him up this way, that was that monk, never mind, yeah. So we need to keep that in mind as well. So here, I'm not gonna make a sake den here because I want to build a sword school or something else. Even an encampment would be a good idea. You already went for heaven and earth, so that is good at least. Spear XP is another one of those things that I would personally never go to. It's such a massive time sink, and Yari Samurai are just not worth it. Spear Square is not a great ability. You don't need experience for units because you can get experience by just fighting. It's just this is something that I would never spend time on because it's just not worth it. Anyway, so we have currently got -4 here, so we just need to put 4 units in there and we'll be totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a couple units from this army. In fact, I'm going to look at what we have here. I don't think it really matters though. Currently, I'm not too concerned about your army setups because, especially on easy difficulty, it doesn't really matter what kind of armies you have. Anything is going to be totally fine. Having said that, again, Great Guard is another one of those units that's actually it's an insanely good unit. It is just very expensive. So if you're short on money, it's a good unit to get rid of essentially. But yeah, I'm just gonna we have a lot of archers in here actually, so let me just take the least experienced ones out. Let's leave us with 6, and then we'll take one of you. We'll pop you into Kaga. And then Kaga is happy, so we don't have to worry about exempting that. This place will be happy once we put the entire army in there, so there you go. So then we've sorted that for now. This place is unhappy, but it's going to be fine next turn. And then we have this place is going to be unhappy, and this will build a sake den, so that will sort itself out as well. This guy was going to go into Omi. We're also going to repair that building, which actually puts us down on minus, so never mind, not going to do that at all. I need to repair this as well, which will probably also solve the happiness issue here already. The army is currently 14. Not quite, actually, but almost. Okay, so let's see about movements. What have we not moved yet that we should be moving? So Bison, how happy are you? 9. You're going to be okay, actually. We need to get rid of this one, though. Must have forgotten that one last time. Since there's a rebel army in here, we're actually pretty safe to just continue onwards and start expanding this way. And you can expand through this area usually really fast, because there tends to be a massive lack of actual units here. This place is 20% Christian, that's not too bad. Get rid of that building and build a Buddhist temple if you absolutely have to, but I think we'll be okay regardless. I'm going to go take that place too. These aren't going to be the best towns to have or anything, but it's generally still worth just expanding if you are able to. Then you're going to go check out what we actually do have around here. Because the Amana is our main opponent around this area. There's an army there, as well as the Amako army. Okay. We'll go check out what's back over in Izumo. Ah, the Shimazu are arriving with actual samurai armies. Right, so Ninja Man. There's actually, as far as we can tell, there's actually not that much over here, so I could even take this army and go take Tango, or at least kill this army off. I'm guessing since it's easy, yeah, they won't even run away. Gives us an easy battle too. And I can just go take Tango, and this army is probably good enough to sit in Tango and be okay. A reinforcement unit, just kill that off too. Not really showing you any battle tactics right now, but, you know, this is generally worth... It's still useful information. Okay, I can't actually repair that, because income. And then I'm gonna move you this way just to see what's coming. No need to leave them in the town towards the back. Ninjas want to be on the front generally, unless they're chasing down a navy or something like that. Maybe you should have considered trying to kill this guy off, since I did fail with that guy earlier, but that's okay. Right, I'm gonna leave you there. So the black ship, just to kind of show you how good this... Well, I guess I can auto-resolve every single one because of night battles available. But, let's do a, just a quick save as well, that's possible. I'm not going to do that right now. You can already see how strong it is by itself, by the way, which is insane. I am going to do a night battle. Just kill one of them off. Because we could basically showing you this thing can take on whatever. I think, if I remember correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it has more movement as well than normal navies. So as far as I'm aware, you can actually even, if an enemy navy attacks you, you have a pretty good chance of getting away if you just retreat, if you don't want to fight that particular battle. Unfortunately, kind of awkwardly, we start really close to the enemy, so I'm just going to put myself as far away as possible. Probably start blasting them almost immediately. We are attacking them, which means they are just going to sit there. That's fair enough. Now, most of you will know that I tend to actually despise naval battles, so this is not something I would normally really do. But this is a special occasion. It is a Teach Me Senpai episode after all. So I'll do this for this. Plus the black ship is actually kind of fun. Nanman trade ships also really fun, but you can't really get those unless you go Christian. So that's not really something that you should ever consider. Alright, here we go. I don't believe you can actually no, you can't manually fire with this. It's only Fall of the Samurai, that is. Right, that one's already broken. For some reason we're still firing at that. Not sure why, but there you go. Mess that one up real quick. Destroy that one. They're going to go around, which means they're just going to get volleyed by the other side, which is not the smartest idea, but there you go. Alright, there you go. Now you could actually manually continue making sure all of them are completely destroyed, but it's just showing you the black ship is insane, and I do, because obviously your starting point was PS, if you can keep the black ship, that'd be great, thanks. Or something along those lines. So, essentially, normally especially on the higher difficulties, I would say the black ship is not worth it, because as insane as it is incredibly expensive. Now, I think on easy it's 1,020. I think on legendary it's like 1,800 bucks or something. So it's certainly a little bit more expensive. But even so, I just don't think it's worth it. Despite being really good, generally navies are mostly just used for blockading, making the enemy go into attrition and stuff. You don't necessarily have to fight with navies. They're more of a presence thing. Like, you use them to show the enemy, look, you're not going to be able to get through here because I have this navy here. Kind of awkwardly, I'm now in a position where I need to kill every one of these manually because I can't actually get into the port. There you go. There's not. See, I can't even repair it. There's nothing to repair. It's fully. Oh, actually, no. There's 68 worth of repairs. Sorry, but you know, not the most expensive thing after 2 battles, is it? Anyway, so have we got any more agents to move? I think we've got a monk in Noto. You need to stay there because of happiness. We got a guy. Yep, you're gonna stay there, and we got you. You're gonna stay there as well. So army movement. I think we've done most, if not all, of what we can do or want to do right now as well. Wakasa is actually unhappy, by the way. I haven't really considered that, but that's going to be okay for now. We'll just exempt that next turn, probably. We have got a fairly significant force in here, which doesn't have to be here for happiness. So I think we're just going to send you towards Kazuke. Unless they've got a full stack there, which I seriously doubt. We're going to be okay. Oh, right, of course, this army has no general. That's why it's so slow. Having said that, there is a general on the way, but also if you fight a couple battles in a row and your captain survives, Honda Takatora, if he survives for a couple battles, he will actually just get promoted to a general if you have 1,000 bucks in your treasury. You need to make sure you have that money. Right, let's end turn for now. Okay, so the Shimazu army is actually on the way. He's going to probably try and get rid of one of the Metsuke around here. Around these parts, the one in the town, but he failed and in fact got himself killed. Well done. There goes one enemy Metsuke. Don't have to worry about him anymore. He's probably going to succeed at... Yep, he succeeded at demoralizing because there's no general in here. Not a good reason to keep a general. I'm guessing you may have had a general here but lost him. Alright, so they're going to take that. Is it just that? Who it is? Well, okay, that's winnable. So just going to quickly fight that one. So here's, ooh, this is actually a very small castle, so I'm not 100% sure if it's going to happen, but we'll try anyway. Here's another tip for fighting against archers. Something I do in almost all my campaigns, but still worth mentioning regardless. Well, the tip will arrive when we actually get into the battle. But essentially it is to keep your units as far away, especially on small scale battles like this, where there is only one or two or three archers. Keep your men as far away from the enemy archers as possible. So they're coming from that side, so I'm going to put my men right on the wall here. And then essentially hope, this is a very small castle, so it might not work out unfortunately. But essentially hope that my men are too far away from their archers, and instead of running around, the AI will just send them up on the castle. Which means that we don't have to fight that unit manually. We can just we don't have to fight that unit by having our men get shot. We can just fight it in melee, which of course is what our men are much superior at. Now it looks like this unit is actually currently... No, there you go, so they're going to climb. So it actually does work out regardless. And then really we just need to stop them from getting on the point. Now, I might still lose this. There's really not a whole lot of tactics I can do here. But seeing as this is easy difficulty, I think we stand a pretty solid chance of winning this regardless. There's not a whole lot we can do, so I'm just going to triple speed this one and hope that we win. We already have lost quite a few men. I think I'm actually going to lose this one in the end. Although, got some wavering going on already. If we can make a unit rout, that'd be fantastic. Oh, all hope is failing, but I think we got it. That is purely easy difficulty. I think on anything other than easy would have lost this one. I'm just going to end it. There's no points. There you go. Heroic victory. So, I mean, the thing for me is like, with this kind of battle, I have no idea. You probably would have succeeded on this as well. There really isn't a whole lot I did there. I made sure that the archers climbed up, and that's the only real tactic I did. And I also charged in, which maybe got me an extra few kills, but it wouldn't have mattered much. Hopefully our army can now get into range quick enough to be able to actually stop the army from taking us. What is that right there? I did not see that. We got sabotaged, demoralized. Okay, there was an army up here somewhere that just ran past us, did it not? Was that in Tango? I'm not entirely sure where that was. But there was definitely an army that just ran past one of my towns. Did they go in an ambush stance here? I think that's what happened, didn't it? We would have seen them though with our ninja. Unless they were here and they walked past and they went to Inaba. I'm not entirely sure. That happened so fast I couldn't even see. So there's an army over here in Miwasaka, which is something to keep an eye on as well, because we don't really have a force here to stop that. So let's send you back and try and... There you go. So we'll stop them. Or not. Yeah, that's why you put that extra point, the extra points in there. There you go, top tip. We'll have you try as well. We'll have you follow them and see what we can do about it. Okay, there's the army. So yeah, they ran away. They actually ran past the town. They must have been here, or because I thought they ran past my town. Maybe they ran past their own town. I don't even know. Either way, let's repair the castle here now. We got a couple of castles to repair still, I believe, because I didn't have the money last time. Must have been one over here then. No, where did I take towns? I have no idea. Alright, I'll move you like halfway. Just kind of see if there's an army there. Wow. Are you serious? Okay, well there isn't. I guess now we know. So here's a good thing to do as well. We can reach one of them. I guess since it's easy difficulty, they can actually not run away. Well, they won't run away regardless. But it still helps out. If we were to sabotage this army here, possibly should have got rid of the monk instead, but this is okay. And we attack that one. Oh, actually, okay, they still run away even on easy difficulty. Interesting. Well, that was my bad. I thought on easy difficulty enemies never ran away, but apparently they do. So normally what I would have done is I would have sabotaged one of them, then attacked that one as well with the army, so that they cannot run away essentially. But I thought in easy difficulty they can't run away regardless, so I sabotaged the other one so that the initial auto-resolve would be easier. But they actually ended up running away, so that didn't work out in my favor. But normally you would actually attack the same one you sabotage, so you can catch them, because otherwise that happens. That exact same thing would have happened, and that's not what I wanted. But anyway, it's okay. Right, Miyagi is happy enough, so we can get out of here and go take Uzun. And there's an army of Datakiyama on the way, but that's not really a concern. Go ahead and repair that. The gambling hall will definitely keep this place happy right away, so we can actually move out of here. Now, I don't know what's over there. Normally I would have had a monk with me here, but we don't in this particular case. Ah, that's where the army was. It was a Homo army. That's the army we saw run past us. Guessing they're not attacking here because they don't have a chance of beating that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to either let them take Fukushima and just run up there with this army and this one combined, or I build an army in here, but I think I don't care enough. They can take this place and then we just take it back. There's 3 generals in there, by the way. I was gonna say there's a legitimate chance we can just win that as well. Right here, since the place is gonna be happy regardless, I'm gonna try and move up into a forest, although it looks like I might not actually have the option of doing so. There's no forest that will really get me any further forward right now. There's this one, but I can't quite reach. Unfortunate. I could also just chase them down. We have more movement than it, so if they run away next turn, we should be able to catch them regardless. So I'm going to do that. There's no need to wait here for happiness, so that's not a problem. Alright, so next turn we take out all the stuff here, we take that place, and then we take out the Uesugi by taking Itachi, so that's okay. General's still on the way. It's going to help when he gets there for sure. We got a couple places that are currently unhappy, so let's have a cheeky peek at those. First of all, the ones that were unhappy before. This one's going to be fine next turn because of the Sake Den. Noto is going to be fine soon if I build a Sake Den now as well. And then we have a couple that are unhappy now. So this place is going to be fine because of the Sake Den. This is going to need a Sake Den, but it's actually going to be unhappy, so I'm going to have to exempt it for now. In fact, this place is going to rebel next turn were we not to recruit a unit. So I'm going to recruit a single unit here just to make sure it doesn't rebel. This place, I am going to have to build a Sake Den and exempt for now. Bitchu is actually going to be problematic as well, so I'm going to have to exempt that and recruit a unit for the moment, because I can't build a Sake Den. Alright, so that's all the happiness sorted once again. Then we still have a full stack in the Chizen. Now this place is quite unhappy. Not a full stack, but large enough. We could certainly do some monks around here. Chizen again is quite rich. In fact, if we look at the top 5, it's actually fairly decent bit lower. But either we run someone all the way over to Miyagi, or we just put someone in a place where we actually need the happiness. Plus, again, the Metsuges aren't really leveled up for this anyway, so I'd rather put them in a Chizen for the moment. So that actually means we can basically move out of here. -1 from characters. Do you have... Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, that's not really worth it. Okay, that was a good one though. Yakuza for the overseeing towns is good. But again, should have leveled them up to get Censor and Magistrate. Right, anyway. I am going to move this army out of here. No need to keep it around doing nothing. We can always recruit an extra unit to make this place happy regardless. Still got our ninja here too, which I will be moving... Let's move them up this way. We have 2 ninjas already following that army there, which will be going down the south regardless, so that's okay. And then I was going to send both of you that way, but I guess, yeah, one of you is going to go into Izu. Which again, if I was smart, I would move them into towns on the way, so... I'm actually going to put one in Owari, an extra one. That's the second one in there, but that's okay. And you're going to go towards Izu. And then we're going to forget about putting one in Miyagi for the moment, because it's very far away. This campaign is actually closing, or in its closing stages as well. Like, honestly, you're quite close to finishing this off right now. This is actually more like an army and a half almost, so definitely going to have too many units here. So we can send some back, or even remove some from the face of the earth. There's still a lot of buildings to build as well. That's something that we shouldn't forget, of course, but right now we just haven't really got much money to play around with. Also, for anyone wondering, I have noticed this weird bug. I'm guessing it's something to do with 1440p, but oh well. Anyway, so yeah, the goal again of this is to take the towns in between us. I guess I can even just take these 2 towns up here as well and have more than 2 grand income, or like 2 to 3 grand income, which we've easily reached already. So this army here in Tango, did we take that this turn or last turn? I think it was last turn, which probably means it's going to. Wait, is it going to rebel or no? It should be fine. I don't think it's going to be happy, but it won't rebel, so we can exempt it if we have to. Take Tajima right now as well. Towns where there's no garrison and you have an army like that is just generally always an auto-resolve. See, this is almost the perfect setup. If this wasn't a rice exchange but just a regular market, this would actually be a fantastic setup already. So yeah, Tango's -7. It's going to be 5, 6. It's actually going to be -1 next turn, which means it is going to rebel unless we put an army or a unit in there, or exempt it in that particular case. Because it is going to rebel, right? No, actually it isn't. No, so it was this turn that we took it, never mind. Or we had an army in there. No, never mind, it wasn't. Yeah, it was last turn we took it, but we didn't have an army in there yet. Or if we had an army in there, we just didn't repair the castle. So it's all fine. Right. Any other movement? We have this force still. We could go back and try and deal with this, but I think for the moment we'll just keep sabotaging it. We should be able to succeed at doing so until we have one of these armies catch up, and then the other one can even... Like, the remnants of those 2 full stacks can basically... Or the 1 full stack and then the remnants of that can go down this way to protect against that. So I'm going to keep going on the offensive here. Having said that, this place is a little bit Christian, so we're going to start seeing some very unhappy towns soon. Which we will need some monks for to fix. We're getting so close, I'm almost able to just finish this campaign straight up, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the series. My point is that I want to fix this save file for you so you can continue. So I actually probably should stop expanding all that way and just only do the things that I was going to do out here. Okay, so yeah, that place is going to rebel, but it's going to be fine because it has the Sakeden coming in. So, let's, do we have any agents that I haven't moved yet? Again, only people that I think are supposed to be in the places that they're currently in. Yeah, I already looked at happiness, so that must all be fine. I need something, though, to send over this way. But again, this is a town with 1 unit, so we can just send 2 units and be able to take it. We are on minus 13 right now, so I must have spent some money somewhere that I didn't have, but that's okay. Right, so here we have a choice of either removing units to increase our income, or waiting until it's so happy that we can move the monk out. I think I'd rather remove units, but for now we'll keep it like this. So our income is currently 5.3 grand, but again, it's not entirely fair since some of that is from the event that happened, which is going to go away in a couple turns as well. Okay, this time we're laughing it off, so we're not getting demoralized now, which is good. So yeah, I'm not going to bother fighting this one. They're going to take this. There's no way I can hold back all of that. As we saw last time, we only barely defended it to begin with. But we can just take that town back immediately. There was a Hatakeyama army that ran around me. Hopefully we can spot it, otherwise it's a bit annoying. More sabotage. I think I never even fixed that sabotage to begin with here. Yeah, there's 2 of them now. That's pretty expensive too. Currently happiness is not really a problem here yet, so I'm actually going to keep those destroyed for the moment. Right, so we're going to take that. And there you go, we got 1 general there for winning a couple battles, which is very useful. That's another thing I never even looked at, if you have the right... Oh, okay, so... Oh god, this guy's loyalty is super low. One thing that you definitely need to keep in mind is giving out commissions. So, commissions from most useful to least useful. Commissioner for Development reduces the resistance to invaders in provinces conquered by this man. I find is the most useful thing because it means much faster expansion generally. The second and third most useful are supply and finance. They're both quite useful. They do completely different things, but they're both pretty damn useful. Least useful of warfare. The main thing it does is, well, the 2 things it does is reducing the cost of recruiting units, which is pretty pointless because that's money is an infinite resource, and the only money that you should be caring about is income. Treasury doesn't matter because as long as you have a good income, the treasury will fill up, every turn anyway. So it doesn't matter what you're saving in that 1 turn. Unless it's like a huge amount you can save, sure. But if it's saving a few bucks here and there, it doesn't really help. I'd rather have much higher income, which you can achieve with extra upkeep cost reduction, which increases your extra income per turn. And your clan-wide tax rate, of course, as well. Supply is good because it increases replenishment, so you can keep going more aggressively, and your movement range, which means you can move further and get more aggressive as well. So I'm going to get my highest level dudes. So this guy is going to be my commissioner for development. This guy is going to be my commissioner for finance. This guy is going to be supply, and this guy is going to be warfare. Increases their loyalty as well. This guy was on 2, which is actually the point where they can, if they think a battle is incredibly far in the enemy's favor, they will actually just they will defect to the other side, and you don't want to have that happen. Oh yeah, Tokugawa Yasu's your heir. It's still Hirotada, actually, that's the leader. Okay, Good to know. Anyway, so that's important to know. Let's go kill this army. Or... Unfortunately, if I were to chase that, I wouldn't be able to... Can I sabotage it? That'd be great. Yeah, alright, so we'll kill it next turn. We'll go take the town first. Peacefully occupy that. That's another thing I haven't actually looked at yet, is your daimyo's honor. He is on 5, yeah, that's pretty good. But trade alliances, yeah, that's generally something you want to try and avoid, but it's not the biggest problem in the world. Getting honor high is nice, because at rank 5 and 6, you get 1 happiness across all provinces per honor. So you'll see right now already you have +1 from daimyo honor. If you get to 6 honor, you'll have +2. And that's just such an easy way of keeping towns happy as well. I don't actually need that there. I should probably focus it on provinces where we do need happiness, like Chizen. Now again, this is more of a recruitment province, so normally I would build recruitment buildings. In fact, I am going to do that. I'm not going to bother doing this right now. This is actually really not... We need a monk here. Quite desperately we need a monk here. We have a monk in there, but obviously we need him there too, so... We already have a Metsuke there, so that's not going to help us. Where are all of our... Oh, right, we need to recruit some monks still. That was a thing. I totally was going to do that at some point, then I forgot. So we can recruit some here. Can we recruit any closer by? That's good to keep an eye on as well. So we can get one right there, and one right there. Now, obviously, there's always also Issei, for example. Issei and Yamato and Ki? No, not Ki. Kawachi? No. There's another one around here. No, there's one over here. This one. These places are really good to recruit monks. What you want to do is just upgrade this, not on that one, but the other one. The Pilgrim Hostel, just the first level is already fine. Because it gives you +2 ranks for monks recruiting that province, which means you can recruit level 3 monks right away. Same goes, of course, for Iga. You can have the, not the ninjutsu school, but the other one. The Burukumin village, which gives you +2 ranks for ninja recruited in the province. And of course also the school building, like in Saruga, and actually the capital has one too. Which you build up to the magistrate, which gives you +2 ranks for Metsuke recruited in that province. So you can get level 3 agents immediately. You can even get level 5 agents in some provinces right away. If you were to upgrade this, for example, all the way, you get +2 ranks for ninja. So you can get level 5 ninja instantly, but those have very high tech requirements. This is the one for the Metsuke, this is the one for the ninja, and I think that's the one for the monk. So it takes a long time to actually get those. I never get those in my campaigns, but it's definitely something you can consider. Right, could you not run away when I attack you, please? That will save me a lot of trouble. Thank you. Kill them off, and I'll level up as well. So if we level this guy up correctly, which we did because I leveled him up, we're going to actually save a point. You don't want to spend this point, because you're going to want to spend all 3 points in here once you get to level 4. So you want to save that point. If I do that, I have to actually battle, which I guess gives us an opportunity to show our Cav. So you know what, let's do a battle. Alright, so this is a pretty fair battle. We have a couple of ranged units, a bit of Cav. Because then I think, yeah, this will be our main battle for this episode. We have a massive Cav advantage too, which is great. This will give us a decent battle to showcase units for this episode, and then basically I'll be taking Hitachi from Uesugi, and then we'll probably leave it here, so I can send you the save file back, and you can continue playing from there. Should be pretty much saved. Again, this wasn't really a disaster campaign, but I think it still showcased a lot of good beginner tips. I think that was actually the main use out of this. Okay, so cavalry. Now, especially Yari Calf and Great Guard as well are fantastic at killing other cavalry. These are cavalry killers, essentially. And luckily for us in Shogun 2, a general is cavalry. So these guys, I tend to call them general killers. They are, especially light cav, are really good at it as well, because in the 1v1 they'll actually take on generals no problem. So they're really good for that. Actually, we have 4 ranged units. What was I thinking? How did I misread that? Bit of a weak army when it comes to ranged. And actually, I will not be your prime person to listen to for for gunpowder units, because I never use them, so I actually don't know exactly how people do use them effectively in battles, but I tend to just put them up front and see what happens. Oh, I tried to do movement the way I do it in Euro games, but that's not possible. Just move up like that. Now one thing, another tip is what I will show you right away as well. It's a bit cheesy, I will admit that right away, but it's something I tend to do very much. When we have a battle like this, where we have a lot more range units than them, even when the enemy has more range units than you, it works in all scenarios. But if you want to even the odds a little bit, if you want to weaken them a little bit before going into melee, which in this case is not a bad idea at all, because they have quite a bit of melee advantage, plus better units as well, so this is not necessarily the easiest battle in the world to do. But if you want to even the odds a little bit, we're going to move up to almost range. Oh, okay, well they're already coming forward. I don't even have to do it this time around. Although I kind of do. Hold on. I have to run you guys up now. So what I was going to do is just move the general forward and make one or two of their archers come towards me. They'll keep focused on the general, and then you will shoot them with your other units. But in this case, it actually didn't really work out too well. And now I'm getting shot before I even got a chance to fire back. Luckily, we have such a ranged advantage that we should be okay regardless. Well, yeah, I probably lost a few too many of my gun units here. I should have sat back a little bit further. Also not going to do fire by rank. Fire by rank generally makes you fire more slowly, which is not what you want at all. I also should be moving up my cav a little bit further. Definitely since I need the cav here, because our advantage lies in cavalry. Gun units are fantastic at killing stuff like Katana Samurai, because a single hit is a kill, so I was hoping they were going to shoot that unit, but unfortunately they didn't. Put them in Yari wall, run them up to position, run these guys back a little bit. Get the Yari Sam on the side. General doesn't have fire or stand and fight, so that's not going to help us, but that's okay. Right, so the general, as per usual, is exposed at the rear. So what we're going to do is just try and send our cav in to try and kill them. We're also distracting some units. There's another general right there as well. So our men are in Yari wall, that's all good. I'm going to charge you in there since they seem to be coming for us. We'll charge right in there. Charge one of our units in here, try and kill that off. And then with the rest, we're just going to chase down these generals and kill the generals. We'll kill this one off first since he's hiding himself over there. Great Guard also has second wind, which is useful, but we don't really need it yet. Unfortunately, this particular scenario, the Yamana are a bit annoying in that they have almost the same exact color as... Okay, I lost a lot of my... I must have charged that in quite poorly, actually. That was my bad. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I didn't charge it in poorly. I thought I had a unit fighting here, but I didn't. Oh, I did! Sorry, I've been playing this one really poorly. What a terrible showcase for a battle and my skills. I tried to move these guys back, but I must have failed at doing so, and I actually got caught by these guys. So when I charged them in the back, I actually... yeah, you need to stay back and actually survive. When I charged them in the back, I didn't really charge in the back at all. Because they had already killed that unit, they just turned around and started slaughtering that unit. So that was my bad. I thought they were in melee with Yari Shigaru, and I was charging them in the back, but I wasn't actually. That was totally my bad. Poor display, but that is still generally how you would use cavalry. The idea is there. Essentially, kill generals if they are exposed. If not, ignore them. And charge infantry in the back. If they have more range units, of course, charge their range units first, or split up your cavalry forces. Generally, I would have 4, if I have a full stack, I would have 4 or 6 cavalry units, mostly because I don't like uneven numbers, so I would have 4 or 6 cavalry, and then just divide them between each flank, essentially. And then, if you have, for example, 4 units of cav, and there's, I don't know, 4 or 6 archers or something like that, you would send 2 of your cavalry to attack the range units, and then 2 to start charging stuff in the back on your lines. And you'll see if you charge a unit in the back with a cavalry, especially something like a Yari Calf or a Great Guard, they will rout very quickly. Yeah, I played that one poorly, I'm not gonna lie. That was poorly done. And in fact, if I were to auto-resolve this right now, I've got a feeling I might lose the Yari Calf, but I'm still gonna do it. They're fine. Okay, we'll repair that too. And then... yeah, all I want to do for this challenge really is take Hitachi as well. Okay, so I was going to initially look at places that need happiness and then build sake dens there and exempt whatever needs to be exempted from tax. This place needs a sake den, an exemption for now. She's in... Yeah, so again, here I wouldn't be able to sack it in. So I'm just going to exempt it from tax for now, which is going to cost us quite a bit of money, but we're on 6 grand right now, which is definitely a little bit better than what we started on. That's going to get built. That's still going away though, so this place is actually still going to be unhappy unless I recruit a unit. When a single point of non-clan religion goes away though, it'll be fine again, so it'll be totally okay soon. And of course, right at this point, you can definitely lower tax if you really wanted to. You'd have no problems with happiness whatsoever, but I tend not to, but it's definitely something you can do. It's not something I'm opposed to necessarily, right? I do want to do this. There you go. So now we can start sabotaging that one with 2 armies, or 2 ninjas, and then we can hopefully catch up with one of these stacks. In fact, I think this one is probably fine up here. I'll send over, that's the one with Cav as well, so I'll send over a couple units. Let's do, send over, like... It has a lot of range, actually. It needs more melee. That's generally something I actually notice in your armies, that there's not a whole lot of infantry, melee infantry. If I were to move these 2 out, I'd actually end up with 6 and 5, which isn't great either. I'll move out just 1 unit, send them up there, and then this force is just going to go this way. They're going to either, well, both take Key as well as just take Mimasaka. But what I think I'll do now, if I have the money, let's cancel repairing that. Can do that later. Just build 2 units in there, go take Key next turn. Here, I actually am gonna move out and attack that next turn. Can also very easily just move out here and attack that. Or I can just let them attack me, but they could also meet up, I suppose. But if they meet up, they'll still get slaughtered, so that doesn't matter, because then there's this army dealing with them. Okay, so I think we've got everything covered here. Shibutsuke is going to be happy, no problem. Again, there's still this force coming towards Fukushima, which they are going to take. But then I'll run one of these armies up that way without any issue. There's also this army I almost forgot about, so we're going to go kill them off. Not surprisingly bad. But hey, when something like that happens, you just get more experience and your general levels up, so that's always good as well. So yeah, since you didn't go for this yet, I'm going to put all 3 points in there. It's just such a good ability. And then you're going to move on towards Ugo. Ugo. Alright. Then we end the turn. May have forgotten a thing or two, but yeah, I forgot to move that general. But again, we'll probably spawn one here soon anyway. Oh, we actually succeeded at getting rid of my ninja. Interesting. I say my ninja. It's not actually mine. Oh, he's actually gonna wait there. Okay. Agent converted. Damn. Conflict of beliefs. Ah, so we can increase our spread of... Yeah, we can execute this man. Increase our religion. Shinto Buddhism, which is very nice. Very nice. We actually had no unhappiness whatsoever. I mean, we have some, but it didn't actually trigger. So we can unexempt some places for now. Why is that one not updating on the map? Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Okay. That one's going to be fine anyway. Most of these are going to be fine now. Now that we built that. This one isn't quite, because non-clan religion is still a big problem there. And this place is never going to be fine, which unfortunately means you have to recruit a bunch of units in there, for example. Okay, so let's handle this. I'm going to have to actually chase them right now, unfortunately. There you go. There's the general for this army, which is fantastic. And actually, I'm gonna... I'll attack you. I think this is still not absolve. Yeah, that's fine. They might run... No, they didn't even survive, so that's fine. And then we're gonna send you this way. And we're gonna send you this way to stop that. And then this army can go take Itachi without any problem whatsoever, for sure. And this army up here... I'm gonna go kill him if he wants to stay there, which he does. How very kind of him. And then, so instead of running that way, now I could reach that next turn and take attrition, but I would take attrition first. So I'm just gonna stand here, because I'm not in a rush, right? So I'm just gonna move there next turn. I'll move over here, and then the turn after I'll be able to take it. So we're one turn later, but we don't take the attrition. Now, I will say that it probably won't matter. There's probably nothing there that will stop us and make the attrition that we took a problem, but it's still something to consider regardless. Now, yeah, you can move this army out further as well and just take more stuff, but I think at this point, actually, I was going to take this as well, but I think, you know, you can take that yourself. I'm gonna end this here. This guy's still going towards Izus, and we'll do that too. But yeah, I think you can play this one from here, no problem. I also took recruit those 2 units here, which can't quite reach key. Maybe if I move the ninja out of the way. Oh, and now I take attrition as well. That's a shame. I actually kind of messed that up. Okay, well that's not a good place to stop. That's not a good place to leave it for you. You'll be like, why did you leave those 2 units there? That was a horrible idea. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it there. That is going to be the first of the Teach Me Senpai videos. I'm not going to number these or anything because then people will be turned off by it after episode 3 because they think it's a series. But you know, it's a series, but not exactly like that. Each episode is an individual campaign. But yeah, that is going to be that for now. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you, John, for sending me this save file. I hope you learned a lot, or at least something. And I hope you can finish this campaign. If you do, send me another email and let me know that you finished this campaign. But yeah, next time it's probably going to be a little bit tougher. I had a whole bunch of very hard and legendary save files sent to me as well. I say a whole bunch, a handful. Please feel free to send me other save files too. Can be on any difficulty as long as it's a legitimate save file, an actual campaign. Doesn't have to be a complete disaster. It could be something like this as well, where I can teach you how to do things better. Again, one thing that that John will still need to do is I have a lot of building slots open that I didn't have money for to fix yet. But you can see money is fixed so much. We're on 7.5 grand right now. Now this is going to go away next turn and it'll go down to probably about 5 grand or so. But still 5 grand income right now. Definitely a lot better. And I didn't really remove any units. In fact, I think, well, I removed a couple, but I also recruited some. So we're probably broke about even. And obviously now at this point, if you were to build up provinces like Achizen and Kaga, you could very easily get some samurai armies as well. And that would be totally fine. Get some better cavalry. As for unit composition, you definitely weren't alright with building Yari Calf rather than Katana Calf. That's like the thing that I always definitely prefer. Some people still think Katana Calf is better, but I wholeheartedly disagree. Yeah, overall, I think mostly because of money, you just didn't recruit much samurai. You can easily do that now. So, anyway, that's going to be that for now. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, have a good day and goodbye.